Hello there guys, and welcome to yet another video on Sepa channel. Today's video is gonna be car related again for obvious reasons, and what we're going to talk about, it will be the cost of this Peugeot 508. Now obviously the Peugeot 508, well, is not the cheapest car in the world, but it's not the most expensive one either. There are a couple of things to consider. One, this one it's a hybrid, therefore the purchase price was a bit higher. Not just that, but you know, the cost for servicing tends to be a bit higher as well. You do get the advantage being a hybrid, or for electric as well, you do get the advantage on this one having to do your service at 20,000 miles on 1 year. So for a high mileage is not bad, because at the end, you know, the cost of servicing is kind of gonna be reflected by the fact that you don't do as many. Technically for a standard car you get how many? 12,000, 10,000 or 16,000 miles between you know, service intervals. Now the catalog price technically for this car, you know, this car is not an expensive car, as I was saying, is not a cheap one either. But the catalog price, so if it is to purchase it brand new, this is not a cheap car, right? So at the moment of when I bought the car, the cost of the car was shy of 40,000, if I'm not mistaken, 38,900, something like that. I don't know, a bit under 40k. So that was the cost of purchase, right? The cost of purchasing the car. Now 9 months on the road and also 26,000 miles later, I got the car for £25,000 500, which wasn't, you know, the worst deal in the market, wasn't the best either, I suppose, depends how you look at it. Before this I had the Peugeot 2008 that you can, by the way, you can check it also on the channel. There were, you know, a couple of videos being made with that car, me traveling through Europe, you know, putting like 5,000 miles on it and all that in one journey. You know what, it was a splendid car. And the running costs for that car, you know what, I actually had no running costs for the car because it was still brand new. And when I sold it, I think the car had about 46 or 48,000 miles. Now I bought the car for 11,500 or 11,900, something like that. Anyway, under 12k. And when I sold it as a part exchange was 9,500. So I haven't lost a lot, given the fact that I will have put how many, 2 years and also 20,000 miles on it. Now the same does not apply on this car, and the reason I'm saying the same is because this car has lost a lot of value. Obviously you could say, hey, the car has lost value because you have the mileage, which is understandable. The car at the moment has 88,510 miles at the moment of shooting the video. Now I do a lot of mileage, I just do a lot of mileage for various reasons. And as promised at the beginning of the video, we're gonna go through some numbers. I'm sure I must have forgotten something, some stuff. I'm 100% sure that I must have forgot a couple of things, but I don't think there should be much of a difference. Obviously, you know, I haven't taken into considerations many costs such as, I don't know, your random, I had a tire as an example that I need to repair before changing all tires, which was like £10. I haven't accounted for screen wash. I haven't accounted for, you know, many stuff like that. I don't know, the phone holder and, you know, stuff like that. Now, since we mentioned tires, let's start with the tires. So I had 2 sets of tires so far. I had some Rotala tires, which I must say they were amazing. Do check on the channel, we do have videos for that Rotala, the entire history pretty much, yeah, the entire journey from the moment when we installed the tires, right, when we got them fitted, to the moment where we got them replaced. Now when we got them replaced with well, what sounds like an Italian brand, but I think they're just made in China again, so I'm not even sure about the brand where it is. It was pretty much the only available good purchase that I would have had at that moment. the video, again, it's in the channel. Do check it in there. We might put it in the description below just to make it a bit easier for you lads. So the tires have costed me around 350 each time I replace them, and I'm saying around because, you know, it's just about, wasn't that much of a difference. And in 2 years since I have the car, you know what, it's like 2 years and a half already, almost. I'm getting close to 3 years in March. I have had to change the tires twice, and chances are I might have to change the tires in the next half a year to 1 year tops, again, just because I'm putting a lot of miles. That's if I will actually decide to keep the car, which I'm gonna need your opinion on this one as well, guys. Now, aircon, I had to top up the aircon. Actually, I've replaced the aircon, removed the old one, added some new one. That has costed me £100. I had 4 services being done, and technically it's a bit wrong because I got the fifth one literally a couple of days ago. So that is about 2k in total, and we're talking about services which once the car has got out of warranty, I have subscribed to the Stellantis plan, which is £39.99, and what they do, you cover the cost of the service, but you also have like a warranty included in there for the major parts, which they've came in handy because I had some issues with the car, and I'm sure you guys must have seen the video in the channel about the relay and all that and how much it costed me. Now, 3 years insurance. Keep in mind, guys, I do have business insurance, and I also had an accident not long after I got the car, like after like 9 months or so. Wasn't my fault, obviously, but the insurance company said, hey, we don't really care. I think I have a video about that as well, where I'm complaining about the insurance company, how much it cost and all that. I was actually complaining about Stellantis as well, because that branch, anyway, long story. So the cost for 3 years insurance, guys, I'm paying 1,800 a year, okay, for God knows what reasons. One being, the business insurance, that's usually adding about £300 to £400 a year, but obviously I'm not really able to drive the car the way I'm driving it for work purposes if I don't really have business insurance. It doesn't make sense. And then I had a couple of servicings to do. I had to change the discs, braking pads, new battery, the auxiliary belt, braking pads. I actually had to change them twice, not because of the car's fault or my fault or whatever. I just think most probably the car got like a little stone on one of them, and it's just, it got stuck in there. The service in Mansfield, I must say, the Peugeot service in Mansfield, the customer service, exceptional people, but the guys at the back, with all due respect, they just let me down. I have started getting the car serviced at the branch in Sheffield, Stellantis and in Sheffield, and I must say, with these guys from customer service, sales, they've tried to help me with a number of things when I asked them, even though I told them, guys, I'm not looking to buy at the moment, I asked for the opinions. They gave me their time without saying anything. And also the guys at the back, they are fantastic. They, they're brilliant. They're doing what they're doing. They're doing it right, and that's just absolutely great. So yeah, now the cost of the car itself, what I have taken in consideration was, when I initially bought the car, I gave my Peugeot 2008 as a part exchange. Now that 2008, man, that was a great car, right? So that 2008 actually managed somehow to still have some equity, to build some equity over time. So I will have had a car for like around 2 years or so before exchanging for this one. And equity-wise, I was able to pull out about 4K, close to 4K, so I'll just name it 4K. And what happened is that I also had to pay like £200 for like a down payment kind of right towards this car. Now, the overall cost, 3 years cost, yeah, so I have included up until the end of March. Hopefully nothing is gonna happen until that moment. So that's when the 3 years are going to be completed. So my cost for the car, it's £20,000. That includes the down payment of 40 or £4,000, and also it includes £16,000 of monthly cost. You do the math, right? I'm not going to tell you the amount, you do the math. And also, you know, I'm sure there are some other small stuff that I haven't considered. You know, you buy this and that, you always buy something for the car, you know, accessories, blah blah blah. But you know what, it's not mandatory. Now when it comes to petrol, I actually calculated how much I paid in petrol for the car. And well, since I got the car, let me tell you, I paid about £9,000, close to £10,000 in petrol, you know, something like that. Now I did manage to put another 62,000 miles, 62,500, around that amount since I bought the car. But that's a lot of money. Again, I do travel a lot. I travel a lot for, you know, business purposes, work and all that. But this car is not cheap, I can tell you that. Now, I've been thinking about, right, because I'm getting to the 100,000 milestone, and I'm not really sure what to do next, because I have a couple of options, right? Option number one, which I'm gonna have to think about, which is gonna be around February, March or so, change the car. Now, considering the amount of miles I put in, I will have no equity. Chances are, as an example, at the moment, I'm actually in negative equity with the car, even though I put a down payment. I mean, imagine that. And I've been thinking about what to do next, you know. You do have the option in which you can give the car back. It's called the voluntary termination. You know, I literally could do that now. There are a couple of rules. Again, you know, I'm not like a financial advisor or anything like that, but you could technically give the car back and give everything, the keys, the service book and all that, and you say, hey, the car is in good condition, had the service done, blah de blah, you know, take your car back and, you know, let's close the deal. Because these guys, you know, at the end they have recouped their money, and they also made some money from the interest, and also they can still sell the car. Why? Because the car is in a good, you know, driving, sellable as well condition. So that's option number one. Option number two, you could do a part exchange. Now, obviously the part exchange, what does that mean? I'm sorry about the noise, I forgot the window open. So part exchange, it means at the moment, as an example, I am in, well, what you'll call a negative equity, so it doesn't really make sense for me. But at the same time, I'm thinking, if I'm going to go down the route of voluntary termination of the agreement, I'm quite sure they'll try and find God knows what. The car is in good, spectacular condition, don't get me wrong, but I'm sure they'll try and find something. And at the end, I'm still going to end up in giving money. Now, on the other side, you know, Christmas is near, New Year's is near. I don't want to have to deal with, God knows, you know, paperwork and stuff like that. I may as well keep the car until, you know, February, March, decide what to do. There are a couple of options. Option number one will be, guess what, get a new car. Option number two will be, well, keep on paying, I suppose, right? Keep on paying for the car and then decide what you're gonna do, because, you know, I will have had 3 years. The contract is 4 years, or 4-year contract. That means, let's say, that will mean, you know, around March I will have 1 year left in the contract, and then at the end you do have to put some money down, which in my case is like 5,000 something. Now, that's an option, but then the car will have more than 100,000 miles. So the question will be, is that actually worth it? Should I take the chance of running the car until it's literally gonna die on me? I don't mind the car. The car is nice. You know, I like the car. It's not the fanciest car. You know, it's not a Ferrari nor a Porsche, but hey, it's a nice car. You know, it looks nice. It looks futuristic. I did look after it and all that. You guys must have seen in, you know, all the videos the fact that it's, you know, I look after cars in general. And yeah, so what my question was is, have you guys had the chance, any of you, or do you know anybody that has run a Peugeot 508 2021 model petrol plug-in hybrid, yeah, PHEV, over 100,000 miles, which is 160,000 kilometers. I'm very curious, and not just that, but this might be one of the factors, obviously, that I'll have to take in consideration if I'm gonna keep the car or if I'm gonna sell the car. And you know what, I'll be more than happy to keep the car and keep on, posting these videos about the car and how it lasts and all that. But I'm gonna be honest with you, it's not like, I'm making a fortune. We're not making a fortune off YouTube, close to nothing, to be honest with you. It's like, paying a coffee once in a while, money-wise. But at least I will have something interesting to post there, and I can, run the car until, I don't know, 200,000 miles or so, and record every expense and every whatever costing I might have with the car. It is a very interesting situation, considering that the car has already costed me a lot of money, and then if I decide to keep the car for another 2 years, then obviously the insurance is not the cheapest, 1,800. I actually made quotations for the insurance, and there are lots of other cars, obviously, not as, let's say, performant as this one, or as powerful as this one, or whatever you want to call it, right? We're talking about a Citroën C4 as an example. It's around £1,000 with business insurance being included. That Kia Duster, it's about £1,000. So I could save £800 a year just by changing the car. And in 2 years' time, because again, at the end of the 4 years, I do need to pay another year pretty much cash. So it's like, in that time I could save how much? 1,600 just by default. Now thinking about it, it's a lot of money. But the downside is, if I give the car back, whatever I do, I'm gonna have to start a new agreement. I'm not gonna pay cash for a car. I'm not rich yet, at least. You never know, right? But it's like it's like one of those things where you have so many variables that you have to think about when you calculate, or at least when you are trying to make some sort of an educated, decision when it comes to making a change. Now, getting as an example a C4, let's say, yeah, C4, you get in, so it's a Citroën C4, right? Nice car, 2021, 2022, 2023, whatever. So a 2021, 2022 model, under 30,000 miles, so around 25,000 miles, sometimes even 17, that will be around £14,000. £14,000 is not a lot of money, but it's still money, and then I'm gonna have to start the agreement from scratch. Now, if you know anything about finances, and I do hope you know something, if not, I'll help educating the same way other people have helped educating me and kind of opening my eyes. All these loans that we are getting at God knows whatever percentage, the nominal. So when I'm not talking about the percentage APR, I'm not talking about the percentage, 9.9%, whatever, right? I'm talking about the actual nominal. So what they do, the nominal value of the interest, they are offloading it upfront. So you pay the interest first, and then you start decreasing your actual loan. If you're gonna look as an example into your mortgage, most probably you'll be seeing in there the fact that if you have a 30-year or 20 years mortgage, then what happens is that you pay about, 5% or 10%, not even, you pay like 5% off from the loan, and the rest is the actual interest, and that decreases over time. So yeah, all this stuff. Now that, if I'm gonna get a car which is gonna be £14,000, I'm gonna have another like £3,000 or so, around £3,000, depending on APR, and it depends, right? It all depends on the type of deal that you get, how much you can put up front. But let's assume I'm gonna put nothing up front, zero, right? That's gonna be another £3,000-4,000 that I'll need to pay in interest again, pretty much. But then I do get the benefit of getting a new car, and I'm so thirsty. So I guess what I'm trying to get at, guys, since this video took already a lot, is, would you guys think it's worth it to just change the car or keep it until the end of its life? If the car is gonna last me another 100,000 miles without major services and repairs being needed, Hey, that's gonna be a hell of a deal, I must say. But what if the car is gonna break down at 101,000 miles? I'm gonna have the debt. The car is not worth it anything now. Insurance companies, you know, like the extended warranty companies, whatever, they will pay up to £1,000 in repairs, and that's just for like the major components. So you're pretty much left with a worthless car. So my question is again, is it worth it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. You know, I'll really love and appreciate some advice here. I do have my own thoughts about it. Obviously, I will make a decision. I don't want to rush into it. I've been, you know, checking different options, deals, cars. You know, I had the chance to drive, you know, with two BYD cars. Had the chance to drive with some other cars as well, which, by the way, you can see them in the channel. And it's gonna take some time for me to make a decision. But please do let me know if any of you guys had a Peugeot 508 PHEV plug-in hybrid 2021 model that went above 100,000 miles, and you know what's the odometer right now. Cheers guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share the video, whatever, all the Gucci stuff. And I think we have members as well in the section. I'm not sure, but you might want to check that, just, you know, just to kind of be on the safe side, right?